By your Southern California Honda dealers, I'm Chris McGee, Robert Ory, James Worthy, Mike President. Allie's going to join us in a little bit. Mike Trudell will handle the post-game duties. We're going to hear from him in a moment. Lakers win a wild one in Indiana. LeBron, big night. We'll get to that in a moment. No AD. They finished 2-3 on the road trip, and after 20 games, Rob, they are 10-10, and they needed this one. They found a way to get it done in overtime.
Yeah, even though they didn't win the last three like AD wanted, but they went out on a bang. This was a great game. They played good defense with AD being absent from this game. The best thing about this game, low turnover game. I know everybody will say, what about LeBron's points? But the fact that they're not turning the ball, I mean, they're taking care of the ball, that is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, this was a game they really needed. You know, the little scuffle in Detroit kind of pulled them together a little bit. But this game was one that they really needed. I think this one will propel them into a better place going forward now. Overall game, they picked it up in the second half. They didn't allow as many points in the paint. They got some fast break points. I thought Monk's contribution tonight was critical at times. We had some big shots, but then LeBron James did what he did best and led this team tonight. And I'm a little bit too tired for worthy clap, so y'all send them in for me. That was a good game, Brez.
Sometimes they got to pick it up for you, James. Let's go back to Indiana. Brez, hold your thought. LeBron's with Mike Trudell.
All right, LeBron, so Indy's dropping Miles Turner. He's down in the baseline. When are you deciding to get into those looks to get the jump shots off you got off in overtime?
Just taking what the defense give me, trying to stay in rhythm. I understand that it's closing time, it's winning time, especially in the fourth quarter and then overtime. Chris Duarte made an unbelievable shot to send it to overtime. So, just try to do my part and had a couple go.
So no AD tonight. You played almost all the second half minutes at center defensively. What is that like, and what's the focus there for you?
Well, I mean, when I'm playing defense at the center position, I'm able to basically call all the coverages before teams even get into it, and it gets my other four guys in position where they're not caught off guard. So just trying to be in continue to communicate throughout the whole possession, keep my guys aware of screens and flares and slips and whatever case that's going on behind them, and and it resulted in us getting some stops. And, my guys did a great job of keeping body on body and then rebounding.
Has it been the easiest start to the season for you guys, LeBron? How important was it for you to find a way to get a win tonight? How important was that just for you to take that over late?
We've been playing better as of late. I think yesterday we played, some good ball, even in my absence. We just weren't able to come through on that one. Obviously, second half of that Detroit game, we played exceptional, especially in that fourth quarter. So, we want to continue to build off of it. We haven't been healthy. We haven't been healthy. Haven't been as a whole. Tonight we wasn't healthy again. Lost our big guy in AD. Kendrick Nunn, K Nunn ain't been in. TA ain't been in. I've been out of the lineup a lot this year, but we want to continue to work our habits and continue to play Laker basketball. And if we do that close to 48 minutes, we put ourselves in a good position to win.
Last thing for you, Thanksgiving tomorrow. I think you've earned some time with the feet up. But what's the plan with the family?
The plan with the family is to break bread, be thankful of our loved ones, be thankful for the opportunity to be able to wake up and be in the presence of your loved ones, and give all thanks to the man above. Watch some football, some NFL football, 3 games coming on tomorrow. Have first and seconds, get a little sleep, get back up, eat some more, and get ready for Sack on Friday.
That sounds good. Appreciate it, LeBron.
I hope it is, and some wine too. That'd be good too. I need that.
Let's go throw that in there. Yeah, a little bit.
LeBron James with a big night indeed, definitely earning that meal tomorrow. LeBron James looking at some season highs there. 43 minutes, 39 points, 13 of 29 from three-point land, 5 of 12. He had 5 rebounds and 6 assists. Brez, 17 of the points were in the fourth quarter and OT. He was also 8 of 9 from the free throw line, which needs to be mentioned as well.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have already kind of lateraled this Laker team. Like, they're going to be 500, maybe make the playoffs, maybe win around. You can't quite do that yet because LeBron James has missed so many games. With him in the lineup, this team can really beat anybody. Now, as we've seen, they can also lose to anybody, but just a different feeling when he's out there. I mean, come on, in overtime, a 27-foot three, a 30-foot three-pointer. that fadeaway down the left side. I mean, this is vintage LeBron James. When he's on the court, it's just a different animal. You cannot discount this team as long as he is in the lineup, guys.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rob.
No, you go ahead, big game.
43 minutes, only 2 turnovers, as much as he handles the ball. If this team can get healthy and get a couple practices, a few under their belt, you're right, Brad. They could really peak at the right time. And I think that's what's happening right now. Especially this game. It's going to pull them together. They're coming back home, Thanksgiving, perfect timing, big win, get everybody back healthy when they're playing Sacramento. And, it looks good. I hope that this is a good trend. I always like to use that word, trended in the right direction.
They shot 40% from 3, which is great. They outshot the Indiana Pacers. And you look at the guys who came off the bench, Ellington and Monk. I think they had 7 of those threes. And when you get guys off the bench to contribute like that, this makes it easier for LeBron James. Let's be honest, because now people got to guard those guys and open up the floor, not just for LeBron, for Westbrook. And Westbrook had a great game, only 3 or 4 turnovers. And that's big because last game he had 5 in the first half. So when you look at these guys, the way they played, now even though they didn't start out well, and we want them to have a complete game because, we're greedy. We don't want just 1 quarter, 2 quarters. We want 4 good quarters of basketball. But those first 2 were awful, but they played really well when they had their backs against the wall.
Rob, let's talk LeBron at the 5. It's a different look for the Lakers. LeBron talked to Mike Trudell about what he liked about it defensively. What did you see from LeBron in that position with no AD tonight?
Well, let's face it, LeBron 6'10", 6'9". He back in the day he was a center, But you look at the way he can play. He can bring those centers out. He wanted Sabonis. He wanted that ISO, and the Lakers kept putting those pick and rolls until they got to switch it. That's the thing about today's basketball. Nobody wants to play one-on-one defense. They want to switch everything, which sets up perfect for guys like LeBron when he's at the center because nobody on the floor can guard him. A center can't. And when you have your best player who is a center on your team, he has to be on the floor. And so the Lakers exploited that. And when they're exploiting that, they got to rotate, and LeBron can kick it or drive. So basically, the Pacers were at their mercy.
Did you like him anchoring the defense, being able to call it the coverages, as he had mentioned?
Yes, because he's back there. He can see it. He has the most experience. He knows the playbooks and plays of a lot of other teams. I like that small lineup. Could you imagine that lineup against Utah and Gobert being, excluded from the lineup because of mismatch problems? Something for Vogel to look at. Also, he's got to take a look at how he plays Monk. Even when people come back healthy. Brez and I were watching a little bit in the room in there, and Brez was like, this guy's, he has some spunk in his game, and he does. He's not afraid to play, not afraid to put it on the floor. So we're seeing some good things come out of this downtime when they're getting everybody back healthy and struggling a little bit. We're still seeing some good things that are going to lead to the future here.
Yeah, James, I like how the Lakers kind of imposed their will on Indiana. Miles Turner, the best shot blocker in the NBA, irrelevant down the stretch there. Why? Because LeBron was, the Lakers went basically Miles Turner out, really not doing anything, not even really in the game. So I like how the Lakers kind of dictated the terms of that win. James, you mentioned Malik Monk. He's not just a three-point shooter. He had some decent defensive plays, some pretty good plays on offense that were not from distance. And you cannot forget Wayne Ellington. 3 threes in that fourth quarter for the old vet. So a lot of help for LeBron tonight on a night where AD did not play.
If you go back to yesterday's game against the Knicks, it was 91.5 minutes. The Lakers did not have a lead in either basketball game until this guy, Malik Monk, hit that shot to give the Lakers the lead. 17 points off the bench for Malik. He's speaking with Mike in the media.
Malik, I want to say this is your first time being on the court with LeBron in those kind of moments that you probably watched either for years or played against him or just watched as you were growing up. What were you thinking?
That's what he does. That's why he's the GOAT, man. He's going to take control of the game, let everybody know we no rush. He gonna bring us home, man, and that's what I seen. Like you said, I've been watching my whole life, man. He like our Jordan in my generation. So just seeing that, and I'm just blessed, man, to be able to be out there with him and just learn from him every day.
Is it important for you to also kind of not watch and make sure you're helping on the glass as your season high on the glass? And is that something that's going through your mind as you're in a game like that that's back and forth?
Yeah, for sure. Not be stagnant, man. I just can't stand and watch. Like you said, I got to rebound and find other ways to affect the game while LeBron is working. As well as Russ too, man. So that's what I tried to do today, and we got the win, man.
League has been a tough road trip for you guys, and you end it with a win, and not just the win, but you do it in overtime. And LeBron seemed to be relishing the moment. He had the Sam Cassell dance. He had his old school Miami Heat celebration. Does that infuse some joy into this group as you go for your Thanksgiving break and end this road trip?
Yeah, that's all we remember, man, is this game going forward. Like you said, it's been an up and down road trip, but we won this game, and you're only as best as your last, man. And Bron doing that, like you said, it brings joy to us, and it just brings us even closer together.
Malik, it seems like you guys have been, battling back from big deficits this entire road trip, and including tonight. What changed for you guys about tonight, or was there something about the previous games that kind of brought you guys together, especially in that fourth quarter?
Oh yeah, man. I think the Detroit game. After that, we really came together after that little incident that happened. But it's Bron, man. He, like I said, man, he the Jordan of our generation, man, and he's just gonna take control of everything, and we just feed off of him.
Malik, what does it mean to you to be in the game late like that, when everything's on the line?
Yeah, for sure. Big time, man. This what I dream of, man. This what I've been dreaming of my whole life, being in games like this. Even playing with LeBron, man, I ain't know this could happen. But I'm just in awe every time and learning as much as I can from him. He a great teacher too as well. So, yeah, man, just a blessing.
Malik, obviously you guys were the road team, but it didn't necessarily sound like that the whole game. What was it like playing in that atmosphere?
Man, it's always like that. Besides in Madison Square, it's always a home game for us. These road trips I've been on with the Lakers, man, and it's a great atmosphere to have, man. Lets you be more comfortable, and it just lets you go out there and play your game.
Malik, there were a lot of really small lineups with LeBron playing at center, and he mentioned in the walk-off that he can kind of call out what's happening on the floor. What is he saying? What is that like, and how did that play out for you guys?
Man, he knows everything. He knows every play. He knows every play for every team. He knows what's coming. He's been in this situation too many times, man, not to know what's going on and not to communicate with us. And us being better is him communicating and letting us know everything while he's in the back line.
He goes up, he hammers it home.
Makes it count every time. Too bad it wasn't the first basket of the game. Yeah. That's neither here nor there. Lakers improved to 4-0 in overtime games this season. A few minutes ago, Frank Vogel spoke with Mike in the media.
Frank, just wondered what you were seeing to go to that lineup with LeBron, essentially playing center, and then go back to it and stick to it late. It clearly seemed to be working, but what was the thought behind that?
Yeah, we it's something we talked about, potentially using. We wanted to see how effective our centers could be, obviously eating up minutes against Sabonis and Turner in their size. But we felt like there was something, that we could go to and look at it. I think we looked at it a little bit early in the game and, felt like we were probably going to close the game with it and went to it sooner than we anticipated. But the space of bringing Turner away from the basket and just being able to open things up. This is the new era of basketball. Five perimeter players using that space to attack and switching a lot of things defensively. But I was just proud of our guys for how we competed on the defensive end. There were several, and how we stayed in the game. There were several times we were down 10, and we kept fighting and. Obviously, the big fella, took us home. What LeBron did tonight was just a performance for the ages. I know these fans and how much they love their hoops here in Indianapolis, and he put on one hell of a show. And obviously, he gets the game ball.
As a follow-up on LeBron, just to focus on the overtime, and Frank, what is the challenge of playing the five and calling everything out like that defensively, and then still having to create those type of shots and hit those type of contested jump shots?
It takes a lot of energy, and I know he wanted to get this W. He really wanted to play in that Knicks game, the Madison Square Garden. He looks forward to that every year, and it's very disappointing for him to not be able to be in that game. So, bounce back tonight, and you said it right there. To be able to quarterback the defense and carry that load offensively is just a special performance. It's a performance for the ages, and just something else.
So was that gamesmanship when you told me that the super small lineup was unlikely tonight?
No, I'll tell you, we considered it, but we wanted to see how it went, and obviously most of the game, we're going to play with our centers.
And just LeBron and his three-point shooting, even in 3 seasons, what have you seen in terms of the growth of variety in spots he can hit those from?
It's remarkable. I mean, it's a remarkable sort of adjustment, to the late years of his career. Obviously, MJ and Kobe, they both developed that unguardable fadeaway jump shot, which, by the way, LeBron has that too. But, the adjustment to the modern era of NBA basketball, to be a volume, deep three-point shooter is, it's just one of those things that you're going to look at LeBron's overall career and marvel at how he was able to do that, because that wasn't part of his career or part of his game early in his career.
All right, Robert. Time now for a little Access 360. Saw you and Sergio working on it. What are you guys going to do? A little LeBron?
A little LeBron, how he just came back and his impact on the game and what he's able to do to make the Lakers a better squad.
I like your shoes.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Oh, there it is. That's the 360, yo. 360, access to what the Lakers did tonight. Right here, this is a great play by LeBron. LeBron, AD usually get this, and DJ usually get this pick and roll. We got 1, 2, 3 defenders. Look at Westbrook in the corner. Right here, sometimes everybody expects DJ to get this lob. So you see the guy, the defender at the bottom, try to bite over the top pass. And what the best thing about that is Westbrook didn't think. He just caught it and shot it. Here you got DJ streaking down the middle of the game. He draws the defense in. And Indiana Pacers are the type of team who likes to pack it in the paint. Look, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Pacers in the paint, packing in. Westbrook protected the ball tonight. He goes in, two-hand pass out to LeBron James for a splash for one of his 5 threes. Here you got LeBron on the break. You give it up to Monk, and look at that lane. You can see that lane. Monk could drive this lane, but what do? You got 1, 2, 3 defenders there. You give it to one of the best people in basketball, LeBron. I was mad he didn't dunk that, but he is not taking layup. 2 points is 2 points in my book. Right here, this is a smart thing by LeBron. LeBron sees his play developing, and he waits. I can get out to my guy because I'm guarding Miles Turner. He shot 1 for 7 for 3, so he goes up and takes this steal, and he's off to the races. Nobody's going to handle that. Miles Turner, you best shot block in the league, but you're a little too late for that one. So that's what LeBron can do as a player. He is so active. He's so smart. He can do a little bit for you on both ends of the floor and just make the team better, Geeter.
That's what you do, Rob.
Make this team better?
Yep.
No, I'm just here, man. I'm just riding your coattails.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, Rob showed a really good demonstration there of LeBron playing safety, a football position in basketball. He's able to sit back on the back side, see what's going on. 19 years, he's probably seen every play in the NBA exist, so he's pretty good at seeing something happen and then just kind of waiting for it to happen and then making a big play. I thought he was very successful on both ends of the floor tonight.
Keep breaking it down like that, Rob, and you'll make Allie's Instagram, buddy. Keep going. More to come on Access. A season-high 39 for LeBron in 43 minutes, and the Lakers beat the Pacers 124-116 in the final game of a 5-game road trip.
And I feel, though, we talked about, I thought maybe when he dropped a 50 ball in Miami in a Laker uniform.
I think that's...
Because many people say it hasn't happened for the purple and gold just yet, but I feel like that's...
Big Game's got it.
I can't even raise my knee up.
After you hit like an eagle putt, would you do that on the course?
I'll jump in the pond after that.
We are 20 games in, guys, and they are 10-10. What have you learned about this team? Do we even know yet?
No, we haven't learned anything because we haven't seen this team. Think about it.
All right.
LeBron just said he's been out 8, 9 games. AD's been out this game. We don't know what we're going to get out of this team. We're still waiting to see them put it together. And mainly, Vogel doesn't know what he can do because his lineup has been all over the place. His rotation has been all over the place. So he got to get some consistency. The Lakers got the consistency. And when we get that, then I could evaluate. Right now, I just got to sit back.
Would you give it an incomplete, your grade?
I would give it a D.
Did you ever get a D at Bama?
Heck no. I got F.
James, what about for you? 10 and 10. And I know you've said, listen, like you're going to give it till Christmas, and now I think we're moving that even back to All-Star break. But 20 games in, what are you seeing? What have you learned?
I'll give them to Christmas, maybe January, when they get everybody back healthy, before we can really see a complete team. When they've had a couple practices under their belt, and then we'll be able to see. I will say this, that I am seeing some positive signs. Even though they're losing, the players aren't all together. I'm seeing guys like Monk make some contribution. Ellington of late is coming in. Some of the role players are getting some playing time. So I think when they do get everybody back, that they'll be ready and eager. I do think they're tired of losing. They don't like that. That's one of the things that I think that they are, aware of, that they don't like losing. We saw that in the Detroit game. As you take a look at the role players that showed up against the Pacers, and I think that's what I'm looking at, guys who are stepping up in the absence of some players that they'll be able to use when they get everybody back. They'll be ready.
I think more times than not, there are things that this team would also agree with, that they need to better control the things that they can control, the energy, the effort, the consistency, putting that together on a night-to-night basis. But the one thing they can't control is what we all know matters to this team, and that's the health. So when you talk about trying to evaluate a team at 20 games into the season, when you're without your star who dictates so much for 11 of those games, over half of the games played this season, it's just really hard. It's unfair to do to them. But there's still moments and things that they have to be better at. And they're things that they really can control, so it's not an excuse. Every team deals with injuries.
For me, I know people at home is like, why are you giving them a D? 3 reasons. OKC, Kings. Those are the 3 times you should, no matter who's on the court. You can take LeBron out, you got a better team. You take AD out, you still got a better team. You're up 20-plus points twice on OKC. Those are the things, that's the only reason I give them D, because if you take those 3 out, I give them a B+. So that's why I'm giving them a D. In case you want to know why I'm grading them a D.
Oh, I know why. I mean, listen, for me, it's been inconsistency. That's what they've shown through 20 games, and I agree there have been positive moments for sure. I'm hoping over the next 20, as they get a little more whole and they get a little more used to each other, we see a lot more consistency, especially on the defensive end. There have been some bright spots. No question about it. And the Laker bench tonight was one of those. 3 of the 4 guys that played on the Laker bench, double figures tonight. The 4th guy is Dwight, who played 14 minutes and was 4 for 4 with 8 points. So Melo was in double figures. But the guys I want to focus on, Wayne Ellington and Malik Monk. 7 threes between them, Allie. 53 points from the bench combined, and it was big.
I think when it comes to Wayne Ellington, this is what we expected. We just had to wait a little bit to see it. And I think it's been a bright spot, to your point, Geeter, because he has really stepped into the role on the fly after the regular season already began and has connected from deep, exactly what this team needed. With that said, alongside of him with Malik Monk, I just think it's fun. He's young, he's hungry, he's not afraid of the moment, he wants the shot, he wants the opportunities. And when you've got a team right now who can really lean on a guy to be able to create not only for himself but for others, you're only going to be better when it's all said and done.
Yeah, he has shown us enough moments where he's a fun guy to have on your team because he can really get cooking.
Yeah, for me, if you watch this game, you watch all the games of late, with Malik Monk and Ellington in the game, they getting active. You know, they're 2 different types of player. Malik Monk is a driver, slasher, spot-up shooter. Ellington is a guy who can get to the corner and just spot up. And if you watch Ellington in this game, they didn't run any plays for him. And I'm not a big fan of him when he's coming off those down screens because I don't think he gets his feet set. He's one of those type of 3-point shooter who needs to get his feet set in order to knock down those threes. You look at those threes he knocked down again, he was waiting for it, spotting up, bam. And when you playing with LeBron and AD, that's all you got to do because you're going to get open shots like that, feasts like that.
There's a reason he's an elite shooter, you're right, because he's very good at getting to the level of the ball. He finds his open spots, and when he sets his feet, as Rob said, he's really good.
He's a catch and shoot player from 3. He's not going to be coming off down screens, curling, and not going to be hitting too many 15-footers. He's an elite 3-point shooter, and we've watched the Lakers over the last few years, searching for 3-point shooters, trying to bring in guys that can shoot. If we're not able to knock down the three-point shot this year, that's going to be a big problem. So I like what I'm seeing from, Ellington and Monk and the guys that are going to be shooting, because that's got to be consistent this year. We can't have a non-three-point and shooting team and expect to advance. We're going to have to knock them down, and they did a good job tonight.
All right, Lakers went 2-3 on the 5-game road trip. More reaction from the Lakers locker room when we come back. Reaction.
Access Sportsnet Lakers is